What films you should watch? Well, if you're looking for a film to watch tonight, perhaps you're looking for a strong female lead in a movie, maybe a film that by chance is not obvious from the listings being promoted, um, and perhaps with a strong performance, uh, with some suspense, and maybe with some topic that may get you thinking about how that could apply in real life, then you need to see the film Coma. Coma is with Michael Douglas and Genevieve Bujold. I might be mispronouncing that, but you should be able to find it. And it has to do with, I believe she's either a doctor there or a resident doctor. I'm not quite sure because it's been a while since I've seen it. But it's quite suspenseful, and it's about how she starts to see that something is wrong, and she starts to do some investigation on her own, and how that gets her into a lot of trouble and a lot of heat to back off. So again, Coma would be a film to definitely see. Perhaps you're an actor looking for strong female lead roles with perhaps some ideas for dialogue, maybe with some strong scenes. Definitely worth checking out. And if not, then definitely worth checking for the suspense, the acting, and certainly discovering Genevieve Bujold. Moving on, a film with strong character, I would say, and now let me think here for a second. A second film that you can see. I've seen so many films, and yet here I'm drawing a blank. Strong woman. Wow, I'm drawing a blank now. Well, boy. Well, I guess we'll leave it at Coma. I'm thinking if we stick to the theme of hospital, then maybe and with Genevieve Bujold, then you'd have to see Dead Ringers, and that's with Jeremy Irons, excuse me, and Genevieve Bujold. Definitely some good scenes there. Very interesting film. Jeremy Irons' performance is wonderful, as well as Genevieve Bujold. It's a Dave Cronenberg film. Definitely worth looking into. If you want a film, maybe I think it's Silkwood with Meryl Streep, and same thing. It's a woman who is kind of fighting her situation at her work, and how she's dealing with it. It's been a while since I've seen this. I think maybe I'm wrong, but Cher is in this, but I may be wrong. I know that Meryl Streep gives an incredible performance also, and definitely worth checking. if you're looking for something different. And that again is, I think it's Silkwood. And if I'm wrong, then leave a comment. But anyway, so that's my third. So let's see if I can come up with a fourth film here for you. Fourth film. I mean, if you're an actor looking for strong monologues / scenes, obviously you haven't seen Last Tango in Paris with Marlon Brando and I forget the actress's name, and I don't want to say it if I'm not sure, because again, same thing, I have not seen it. It's a very strong film. Obviously, this is all acting, but or perhaps you're a director and you're looking for films in which there's an element of improvisation, strong topic dealing with death, a relationship between an older man and a younger woman, and also a film in which probably some of that dialogue that you're seeing has been improvised by Marlon Brando. Excuse me again. So that's throwing out something different. Or perhaps you're looking for something a little bit more not in line with what I'm talking here. Maybe perhaps you can take a look at the Crying Game, and like for any of these films, I mean, if you have not seen them, best to just get them and see them without getting a trailer, and it's the best way. That way you have no idea what's to expect, and you get to enjoy and discover something new. And this I cannot remember. Hold on a second. Who's in it? I should just quickly take a look and see. And I think The Crying Game, it's a film that came out in the 90s. Has to do with, I think Irish. I think it's Irish problems or whatever in Ireland. So let me just make sure. And before I forget, since while I'm looking for that, if you want a strong female lead character, I suggest Klute. That's Klute with Jane Fonda, and again a strong female lead. Maybe you'll get some ideas for monologues if you're looking for monologues. And since I'm at it, then I would also mention Nuts. That's Nuts, Nuts, like your nuts. And that's with Barbra Streisand, so you might want to check also that. And The Crying Game is with Whittaker and Jay Davison, and who else is in this? Let me just see. It's directed by Neil Jordan. And let me see. So I said Forrest Whitaker's in it, Miranda Richardson, Let's see who else. Stephen Ray, if that's correctly pronounced. And anyway, that's called The Crying Game, and that came out in '92. And it's a little bit different. And as I mentioned, let me just now verify Silkwood. And I apologize for whatever, because I'm going all over the place, but I'm assuming you look for something to watch tonight. And yes, it's Silkwood with Cher's in it, Kurt Russell and Meryl Streep. That was in '83. So definitely, I do not want to say anything. And since I'm talking about Meryl Streep, then now if you want to see something, Meryl Streep, hold on, Meryl Streep, I'm thinking here, she did a film with Clint Eastwood, where Clint Eastwood plays a photographer. And they have an affair. She's a married woman and they have an affair. So if you're looking for ideas for material for either performing, or maybe you're just looking for something different, covering the possibilities of how the film can be a benefit to you in addition to watching wonderful performances, but for maybe monologues or scene ideas, or if you're a director, you're looking for different styles, so this might be of help. And that's cool. I think it's, oh boy, yes, it's The Bridges of Madison County. Probably you've seen it or not. That was in '95. And as I said, that's with Meryl Streep and Clint Eastwood. And it's a very nice film. The performances are incredible, as always. And there's some very moving scenes, if you are looking for something like this. What else? So I mentioned, I know there's another one, but maybe for now, these few that I have mentioned should give you enough of a variety to choose from. Al Pacino. Yeah, Al Pacino. You're looking for something more obscure. Or if you're looking to discover, for example, early roles by very well-known actors. Morgan Freeman, he did a film that very few people probably have seen, and that is where he plays a pimp, and that's with also for Christopher Reeves, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to think of the name. I'm so sorry. Street Smart. Definitely worth seeing for the performances. Maybe get ideas there too for whatever. And if for characters, or you're trying to come up with different ideas, other than the usual films that are out there. Again, these are films that I have seen that I'm recommending to you to see. Excuse me. If you want to, trying to think here, I'm trying to think of a film here that I obviously, Christopher Walken. I like him a lot. I mean, he is always very interesting. Um, if you want to see Christopher Walken, it may be something that you haven't seen. Where uh, he is just so good. I mean, so interesting actor, and maybe in a film that maybe you haven't seen. Um, I mean, I always, I think he's just wonderful in Dead Zone. If you haven't seen it, I've recommended it before. But he, this is more of Dead Zone. It's, if you forget about, if you're not into these kind of movies or stories, and again, this is my second Cronenberg. Again, here we go. Or maybe I slipped one there and I didn't realize it. But Dead Zone. He plays sort of like, I think it's a professor, if I'm not mistaken. He's in love and what have you. And he essentially ends up in a coma. I guess that ties it into my first film. So maybe for that you should see it. And that's Dead Zone with Christopher Walken. But if you have seen that and you are looking for a Christopher Walken movie, if you have not seen the War film, he's terrific in that too. And it also has Robert De Niro and it has Meryl Streep. And now I am drawing a blank. Christopher Walken. What's the name of that film? Boy. It's not coming to me, and I'm looking for it. And I'm assuming, because just like me, I've reached my limit with, going through film after film, films I've never heard of, films that, when I click on them, I'm like surprised that they've even been made, because it just looks so bad, and it's just, there's no, I'm not even sure what to say. And you end up going through the films, you go one after the other, and next thing you know, you've spent more time than you care to watching the film. So and I have to go back to Pacino, but let me see this film if I have it here. Oh boy. And that's The Deer Hunter. If you haven't seen it, 1978, The Deer Hunter. But okay, I was going to mention another Christopher Walken film, but he's just terrific. But let's say you've seen these two films that I just mentioned. Have you seen At Close Range? And that's a 1986 film with Sean Penn, and it's called At Close Range. And now I'm moving away from that because, I'll have to do that some other time. And now let's see, for Pacino, he did obviously Dog Day Afternoon. I mean, if you have not seen that, you have to see Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino and other wonderful actors. The guy that played Fredo in The Godfather, it's also in this, in Dog Day Afternoon. He's terrific in this. Excuse me. And Pacino, I mean, usually you cannot go wrong. So yeah, Dog Day Afternoon. If you want to see something a little bit that maybe you haven't heard of, is Serpico. Uh, and that's in Serpico is in 1973 with Al Pacino. And if you have seen that and you still want to see a Pacino film that maybe you have not heard of, then the film is called Cruising. That's Cruising from 1980, if you can get that. Now, he has many films, but he really goes deep into the characters. And so if you're looking for ideas for characters, there you have it. I am not even mentioning the obvious films. I'm trying to find obscure here. And is there anything else that I can think of I should go to? And Michael Douglas. Just think here. Michael Douglas, and if you haven't seen Michael Douglas in, oh my God, my mind is just going blank here. Wall Street, that was directed by Oliver Stone, the first one, with Charlie Sheen. Also is in it, and Daryl Hannah, I believe is in it. Let me just make sure. And I think I'm gonna leave it at this. I mean, I don't. There was not a remake, but a follow-up to it. But this is the 1987 film with, as I mentioned, Michael Douglas, Charlie Sheen, Daryl Hannah, and if you're again looking for material, there's a lot of material there, ideas, and now I'm rambling, so I thank you for listening. Sign up, hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and leave your comments if you have any. As I said, this is for that person who's looking for something, tired of just going through the channels and not finding at all a film worth seeing, finding that they're at a loss. I'll throw in 2 films, both with young actors who got a lot of attention. Perhaps you've already seen them. As I said, don't go out and be looking at trailers and what have you. Obviously, The Sixth Sense. And that's M. Night Shyamalan, I think it's called. Oh boy, the director. And the other one is The Piano with I think it's Anna Paquin. And let me just make sure. The Sixth Sense is with the Sixth Sense. It's with Bruce Willis. It's also in it. Let me see. Okay, so it's M. Night Shyamalan. And he became very well known after this movie, and his reputation is based on this movie. Again, that's at least my impression. I may be wrong, but this definitely worth seeing. If you have not seen it, do not look up anything about it. And the kid that's in this is Haley Joel Osment. Then we go on to the piano. That's with Harvey Keitel. That's a Jane Campion film. And definitely worth seeing. I'm sure both of these you'll find ideas for scenes, maybe monologues. If you're a filmmaker, maybe you get a lot of ideas from this. And again, the piano is with, see who's in this. As I mentioned, Holly Hunter's in it, Harvey Keitel, Sam Neill, Anna Paquin. Anyway, and incredible cast. And just so I make sure I don't get the film Coma is directed by Michael Crichton, if that's how it's correctly pronounced or incorrectly, but doing the best I can here. Obviously, as I mentioned, this is Genevieve Bujold. That's Bujold, Genevieve, Genevieve. I believe this is French, but I'm not sure. Obviously, Michael Douglas is here. I forgot another film worth checking for a strong woman here in this case is Opening Night with Gena Rowlands, and that's directed by what is it? Opening Night. Hold on. Opening Night, and that's a 1977 film, as I mentioned, with Gena Rowlands. It also features with Ben Gazzara, Joan Blondell. John Cassavetes is the director, and definitely worth seeing. I mean, you'll get a lot of ideas, especially if you're looking for strong female character. Here you have one. If I'm going to end, I better end it now. So again, thank you for listening and have a nice evening.